Okay, hey, what's up, you guys? Yes, welcome back to another episode of Man Plays Incel Game and Rambles About. I'm aware my hair doesn't look good right now. I don't care. I had a friend cut my hair. It's parted weird. Oh well, that's what I look like right now. That's what it looks like right now. It's also 9:06 p.m. I'm not gonna fix it now. Oh well. Um, anyways. Um, but, so, I wanted to hop on here, make a video because I okay, because I just spent 10 days on a senior week because I'd had a senior week and then another half remnant of a senior week I went on too. It was kind of a mess and kind of just entirely too much, but while I was on senior week, I recorded a bunch of stuff to make another one of my music videos, which I swear will get put up eventually. I don't know. It's the way that I chose to do it was really annoying. And I do have a lot of footage because I intentionally recorded like every waking moment for 10 days straight to make this. But I don't know. It's still kind of annoying to make because I have to sift through all of the videos because I didn't end all of the videos are really long because I didn't really like stop them as much as I should have. Um, and also I had a game plan in my head. And then I realized it wasn't gonna work exactly the way I wanted it to. It's fine. I'm gonna do it eventually. Just is gonna take a little bit. And I know that no one's waiting on it. Like, it doesn't really matter because it's just a personal thing. Um, I don't care what my hair looks like. It doesn't matter. Okay. Um, but I know it's just a personal thing. There are no deadlines even like in my head. I wanted to get it done. So I had senior week, 3 days, family vacation. I'm not gonna edit it there. I'm gonna make another cousin video, and that gets priority. So I was gonna try to do it in the 3 days, but I knew that that was an unrealistic goal to set for myself, and I wasn't actually going to adhere to it. So, oh well. Um, but basically, I went on senior week. I said I'm gonna record all of senior week, basically. For at least the first senior week, I was like, I'm going to talk to these people as much as I can. I did still try for the second week, but I was very tired with the new group of people, so it didn't end up working as well as I wanted it to. But I was like, I'm going to very intentionally, like, be extremely myself. I want to record this. If people don't want to be recorded, that's fine. I will record like a tree or myself walking on the sidewalk. That's fine, you know? Um, I want to record things and I'm going to do that. Um, and like, I don't know. And I was very like outwardly myself in the way that I spoke, and I really enjoyed it. And it's something I want to continue doing. That's something I've been very intentionally trying to live by because well, I don't. There's a whole other side thing. How did COVID affect my development? How did the transition between middle school and high school being interrupted by online school ruin everything? That's a video topic for another time that I'm honestly going to write down because it is something that I want to talk about and I feel like I have a lot to talk about. But um most likely because of that and also partially because I've never really been super solid with who I am as a person. I've sort of always let that be dictated by other people. Um I found myself kind of just like, well, I don't really know who I am as a person, how I like, I don't know, what's not exactly like I know my likes and dislikes, but that's about it. What do I want to be? What do I want to look like? I don't know. I have some vague ideas, but I've never thought about it enough to actually act on it. Well, I want to change that. And I kind of touched on this with my delete social media video. But like, I started learning how to play guitar. I started like compiling videos. I started, playing games and recording myself playing those games. I started just sort of like talking and speaking what's on my mind more and just having more of a focus on where's my teammate? Um Having more of a focus on like documenting who I am. Like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of how to word this. So like, I write in my journal about the thoughts that I have in this present moment. Um, um, and just more like documentation of myself and things. Trying not to let that fall into an obsession with documentation and a lack of living in the moment. And I think I'm having a pretty good balance right now. But I I'm trying to like be more. I'm trying to like figure out who I am and what I like. So an example of that it okay. This is gonna be a horrible game. I had a really good game last game because I was like, hey, it's been a minute since I've done one of these videos because I've been on vacation. I meant to do one in the gap in between, but I wasn't super holding myself to it. I hopped on for a game. It was a really good game. I got like an S rank game, completely carried my team. And I was like, oh, I guess I'll, you know, do a video. Whatever, it's fine. So I'm trying to. So, okay. Something that I have always wanted to do is learn how to play the guitar, but I wasn't ever very, like, vocal about it. Um, it's just something that I've kind of, kind of always, like, thought about wanting to do, but didn't actually want to, like, put in the effort to learn. So I didn't. Um, and so relatively recently, I went, why haven't I done this yet? This is something that I've wanted to do for like a decade at this point. Probably, like, I'm 18 years old now, probably since I was 8. Um, why haven't I gotten around to doing this yet? I'm just gonna start. I'm just gonna try. And I think I'm trying to think of like a thesis for this video because the general topic is do your hobbies. Like, if you have an idea for a hobby that you'd like to have in theory, but you don't feel like actually start it. you know, like So I guess the thesis of the video is probably how many minutes? Oh, almost 10 minutes in, just gathering my thoughts. Oh well. Um, if there's something that you want to do in theory, let yourself be bad at it first because you need to start and you're never gonna be perfect right away. So like playing the guitar is something that I have always wanted to do, but I didn't do it because I was scared of being bad at it at first. I said, well, I mean, it's gonna suck to learn. It's gonna be really annoying. I've heard all these things about how it's gonna make your fingers hurt, and I'm gonna have to learn how to read music. I don't know how to read music. I listen to music and I like it, but I don't know what makes music music. I don't know like all of the music theory behind it. Um, it's just kind of something I'd like to do, but I don't feel like actually putting in the time and effort to like get good at it. Don't fall into that way of thinking. It's horrible because then you never start doing anything. Um, oh, thought he'd snap back earlier. Um, because, like, yeah, it was annoying to learn the guitar at first. And I got a guitar and then I put it off for, like, a year. I got a guitar when I was, like, almost, hold on. I got it for Christmas, not this past year, but the year before. I started learning it in March of this year. That took a really long time. Um, because I didn't feel like putting in the initial, like, I didn't want to be bad at it in the beginning. I didn't want to make noise and have it sound bad and have people perceive me as not good at it, um, because that's embarrassing. I want to just be perfect at everything immediately. Don't we all? Um, but that's not how this works, and you're never going to pick up any new hobbies and get good at things if you never start. So, um, I don't know. I just, like, I think it's important to start because then there was also, like, I've always wanted to journal, right? I've always wanted to keep a diary and keep a log of my thoughts, but I could never actually bring myself to start because it always felt like I was too late. I know I already had a video about it feeling like it's too late. It's never too late to start, but I think the more important thing is that it's embarrassing in the beginning. It's always embarrassing in the beginning. It's always hard to start out. It's always hard to say, or it's not hard to say, I want to do this. It's hard to pick it up for the first time, to pick up the instrument and say, I have no idea what I'm doing. I need a lot of help in figuring out what I'm doing, and this is going to sound really bad, but I'm going to do it anyway. You know? Like, the hardest part is the first time, is the first journal entry where it feels kind of awkward and cringy and weird to be writing down all my feelings. I'd rather just not do this. What if someone sees it? What if I look back on this and think of myself as cringe and embarrassing? And the answer is, who cares? Who cares? Because you either won't care about it in the future because you never stuck with it. Like, if I didn't stick with the guitar, I never would have listened back to all the recordings that I still have never listened back to the recordings of myself when I started, because I did record it when I started. But why would I bother looking back on them now? I look back on the, like, oh, come on. Let's go. I look back on the songs that I posted because I said I'm very proud of this and what I've made at this point in my journey. But, like, I don't know. I've reread my journal a couple of times, or not the whole thing. I've reread parts of my journal a couple of times, and, like, the very beginning of when I started. But I mean, I don't, like, yeah, I kind of judge myself for where I was at that point, but also I say this is the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. So even though I was embarrassing, I still commend myself for having started, you know? Um, so I, you're really not as embarrassed. Like, okay, don't think that your future self is going to be embarrassed of how you started, because that's not how it works. And if the people around you make you feel embarrassing for starting and not knowing what you're doing right away, get better friends. Because if your friends don't want to watch you learn, and your friends don't want to, like, support you and say, hey, this is really cool that you're doing this, not necessarily lying to you and immediately saying you're amazing at it, but just saying, like, hey, I think it's really cool that you want to learn how to play guitar. Or, like, oh, I've been meaning to journal too. That's cool that you're actually, like, having the self-discipline to say, I'm going to write down, like, I'm going to sit down and write every night. Because those are the types of people you should really surround yourself with, because if you're not, then, like, you're never going to improve yourself as a person. I think we should all be striving for, I suck. No, don't think like that. That's bad. I suck at this game, and that's fine. I don't suck at this game. I used to suck at this game. Now I'm, like, fine at it. I'm good sometimes, but I think it's dependent on who I'm on a team with. And not that I wouldn't. I was gonna say, like, I never would have gotten better if I didn't practice. I mean, yeah, I stopped practicing for a while because I know games are just for, because games are for fun and who cares. I feel like that's not exactly the same. Oh, that's not exactly the same point as what I was trying to say. Um, but improvement still happens, and I'm not embarrassed of my past self for having been bad at it, and no one else around me really was either, because I wasn't telling people that I was playing this game until I got good enough at it. Um, and the people I played the game with in the very beginning were also just starting out or wanting to teach me how to play the game. So it's fine, and no one really cares that much. Um, but again, for me, the biggest, like, okay. Um, I feel like the biggest, like, barrier is just starting, because what if someone sees and what if someone hears and I'm not good? And that's a really bad way of thinking. And I understand where, like, everyone thinks that way, I think, or at least most people do. That, like, well, what if I start, I don't know, what if I start playing the guitar and it sounds bad? That's the thing that I keep thinking of, because that was a very outward thing. Writing in my journal, it was more, what if someone sees it? What if someone physically picks up my journal and reads what I've written? What if I look back at myself and I'm embarrassed? But that's less of, like, oh, come on. But that's less than, like, I don't know. I Playing a guitar is inherently very outward. You need to make noise. It's an instrument. Um, so people did hear me when I was starting, and no one cared. I feel like I think that people are going to care so much more than they actually do. But, like, I don't remember. Um, no one cared. No one, like, really acknowledged it except for saying, "Oh, you're playing the guitar? Nice." They didn't say you sound good. They didn't say you sound bad. They acknowledged it, but really not all that much and not every time. It wasn't as much of a thing as I thought it would be, because I feel like I always assume that people are going to overreact to me doing new things. Um, like, I don't know. I felt like people would, oh well, care a lot more about when I was recording things, and the answer is, I mean, if they're not in the shot, no one really cares, you know? Um, and no one cares about journaling. That's a very internal thing. I'm trying to think, what else am I doing? Like, I mean, I played guitar enough that I ended up getting a second guitar, which I think is sick. I want to show it, but I'm walking. Look at it. Look at it. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's an electric guitar, and I love it. And I never would have gotten to this point if I didn't start, you know? Because I look cool. Because look at my hair. If my hair didn't look bad, just imagine myself with bangs and long hair. I want to cut this hair. I'll get to that point eventually. But I mean, I play the electric guitar and I look like this. That's awesome, right? I finally started dressing a way that I want. Um, like, I don't know, I, like, refused to wear dark clothes for a while because I didn't want to be emo. Who cares? Um, I still don't think I'm emo. Um, but I'm not, like, as resistant to that label, because who cares, right? Who cares what people think of me? Because the answer is, again, for the most part, no one really cares. I always think that people are going to care more than they actually do, or people are going to notice more than they actually do. And, like, I guess sometimes that's a bad thing, but for the most part, when you're trying something new and you're scared that, like, dude, if I dress this way, my friends are gonna think I'm weird, and they're gonna think it's, like, different and not, I don't know. Like, I don't know, it's different and weird and, like, not who I usually am. What if they don't like it? What if they don't like me? And I guess that's a very like teenager way of thinking. And maybe it's just the fact that I'm outgrowing that. But like, I don't know, I know that the way that I didn't like I had an idea of the clothes that I wanted to wear, but I didn't want to tell my parents that I wanted to dress that way. I couldn't like I mean, before I had a car or anything, I couldn't just go to the store by myself and get the clothes that I wanted. I didn't have the money to get the clothes that I wanted. And I didn't want to go with friends who maybe had a car or like I don't know other means to like do that. Um, I didn't want to go with friends, and I didn't ever want to wear the clothes out. Okay, I didn't want to go with friends. I didn't want to get the clothes because that would involve telling someone that I have the clothes. And I didn't want to wear the clothes because that messes up people's previous perception of me. And what if they don't like me anymore then? Or what if they just think that I'm weird more generally? Um, level up. Yippee! An A. That wasn't a very good game, but or I guess maybe the best KDA in the game. Oh well. Um, or in my on my team, not in the game. But so I don't know. Like it was just a gradual thing where it was like, okay, then maybe I start getting some of the clothes that I'd want to wear, but I never actually wear them out. Like maybe I do bring myself to like go to the store by myself. I guess, and it never really was by myself. It was always with friends, and I would get the clothes, but then I would be too nervous to wear the clothes because what if they thought I was weird? And then I couldn't change my clothes. That's something I was like existing in. And it was the same thing for cutting my hairs. I didn't want to have bangs for a long time because what if they don't look good and then I can't do anything about them? And honestly, you know, not to say that I do look better. I think I look good with bangs. I think my face shape probably isn't good for bangs, but I need to do something with my hair. So, there's bangs for now. I might look back on my bangs era and be like, that's embarrassing. Why did you think bangs looked good? Your face looks tiny. Maybe, because I do have a small face. Um, but I don't care. Because this is what I want to look like right now, is I want to be the type of person that would have bangs and play the guitar. So that's what I'm doing right now. Is that my permanent state of self? I don't know, and it doesn't need to be. I'm allowed to just sort of like figure things out and say, I don't know if this is what I like. Let's test it. I know that I like playing the guitar. Am I the best person at it? No. I suck. I have two guitars now, and I'm trying to experiment with more electronic things, and I'm going to drop a new album again, or another new album probably like next month or something. Um, but like, I'm still not really good at it. I just like playing with effects and I like making noises, and that's fine. And I'm allowed to do that, and like, I'm allowed to not be the best at it, not know everything about it. I like playing it the way that I know how to play it. I like my hair being the way it is right now, even though that might not objectively be what looks best on me. Um, I like the clothes that I wear right now, even though it might not objectively look the best on me. And I'm probably going to look back at it in the future and say, okay, that's fine. I don't care. Like, I feel like nothing's ever really permanent. Ace flag. Like nothing's ever really permanent, so it doesn't really matter. Um, like I'm allowed to experiment and say, I want bangs for now. I'm going to go to college and I'm going to cut my hair probably. And I'm going to have short hair for a bit. And if I like it, awesome. I'll stick with it. If I don't like it, that's fine. Then I'll just grow it out again. Um, I ended up growing out my hair just because I was like, I wonder what it would look like if it was longer, but with bangs, and if I took care of it. And the answer is good. Not right now, but I mean, in general, I think that my hair looks good because it's curly and long, and I have I don't know. Um, I like the way that my hair looks. I think it looks good. Um, but like, I don't know. You're allowed to experiment and you're allowed to try new things and you're allowed to start and it's allowed to not be good. And you're also allowed to decide you don't want to do it anymore. It's not like you're eternally bound to doing something because you started it. It's just that you should always give it a try. Um, because, like, I don't know, you never know how it's going to end up. And, like, if you never try, you're never going to know. Um, like, I think that writing a journal, like, starting to keep a journal was the best decision that I have ever made in my entire life. That's just, like, something that I stand by, right? Um, and I think that everyone should do it. And I'm going to stand by the fact that I think everyone should do it, and I'm going to continue recommending it to everyone that I can. Because as soon as you start, you're going to be happy that you did. I keep a journal, and then I keep a separate binder for like things like drawings and like I don't know, just like rants and stuff outside of my journal that like don't feel like they fit into my journal's format, but I still want to document them somewhere. Like lists of things I wrote down in the chord progressions to my songs and put them in there. And I date everything. And I think that's one of the best decisions I've ever made is to document my life in this way. But it was embarrassing at first, dude. To say I have a journal, I keep a journal, that's embarrassing. Right? What am I, 12? Um, like that's so stereotypical teenage girl of me to keep a journal. Um, but I'm allowed to keep a journal because I want to, and I'm very happy that I do. Um, like when you start out doing things, you're not good at them. You don't really know what you're going to be doing. You might try to put yourself in like stick to some kind of system that's not going to work because you don't know how to gauge it yet. I mean, like it's you don't know anything when you're starting, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't start. Like I just the gist of it is start even if you don't think you're going to be good at it. To do it anyway. Because even if you're doing it poorly, at least you're doing it. Like I've always wanted to make music, and even though the first music that I came out with is not high quality music, I still made music. You know, I'm not like I am proud of what I put out, but even looking back at it, just like a couple months later, I'm like, okay, that's pretty plain. You know, that's pretty like not a lot is going on, but you tried. You know, um, you don't have to be good at it. I'm still happy that I did it, and I'm still happy that I put that out, and I'm still happy that I continue working on it, even though I say, yeah, the first stuff that I put out wasn't that good. You know, like you can, both things can be true at once. You know, um, I feel like I'm like not doing well in this game because I'm splitting my focus weirdly, so I'm not talking about what I'm talking about as well as I want to, but I'm also just not performing well in my game. So this is just like a terrible watch. I don't care. I'm still going to post it anyways. And you guys are going to have to. The one viewer that may ever watch this, because this is the 6th episode into a series of hours long videos that no one cares about. And they're just me rambling to myself. You know what? This is honestly just a spoken journal of saying, like, this is what's on my mind right now at this point of my life. And rather than writing it down, I'm actually saying it. And you get to see me and hear me as I say it. And I think that's better. But it's also a lot more annoying to do and harder to say I'm going to do this every day and things like that. Um, but also recording videos of yourself. Do that. Record videos of yourself. I mean, if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Let people record videos of you just for the sake of documentation. I've already talked about that. If you want to make videos, do it. Because I always wanted to get into making videos, whether that was myself in front of a camera, more like this, or assembling like the music videos and cousin videos that I do outside of this. Now, the cousin videos are something I've been doing for a long time, and that was not something I really had to bring myself to do because I started when I was like, well, actually, no, I started when I was like 13, I think. So, you know, but it's just if you want to make a YouTube channel, then do it. These things aren't public, they're unlisted. If someone wants to find it, then they can come look at it. If someone doesn't want to look at it, it's never going to be fed to them. They have to actively seek it out. Because going viral on YouTube isn't something I'm particularly interested in. And that's fine, and what was... Am I dumb? Yes, I'm dumb. Holy moly. I misclicked and it just, like, killed me. I'm not dumb. That is not true. I'm great. Great at this game. But, if it's something that you've been meaning to do, but you're too scared to do it because you're scared that someone's going to see it, make it unlisted. Because that's what I do. You're too scared that someone is going to hear you as you're recording. Get over it. Like, it's not... Because no one cares as much as you think they do. Because people will hear you talking. I don't think anyone's really going to make fun of you for it. Because I think that... I mean, if someone is making fun of you for just starting out and trying something new, they're just not really a good person to surround yourself with. Because most people will be supportive by default. Because most people also have an issue with, like, starting and sticking to new things and saying, you know, I've always wanted to record a video, but I've always been too nervous about it. You know? Like, people can make fun of you for the subject matter and the topic and whatever, and you're just gonna have enough, like, self-respect to say this is something that I want to talk about, so this is something that I will talk about. And I think that's another video topic that I want to have, as well as the importance of loving yourself, because I didn't start recording myself until I started loving myself. And that's important, but you just have to have self-respect, I think, is you just have to, like, be solid enough in yourself to say, I want to record a video. I want to record a video on this topic, and I think it's important enough that I should and that I will. And you have to, like, trust yourself enough to, like, you just have to believe that if you think that it's a good thing. I want to make these videos not for a particular target audience, just to put them out there. And that's, like, because of that being the nature of it, nothing can ever really get to me in, like, no one can say that's weird for like, that's weird, why are you posting that? Because it's not for anyone but me, so no one else's opinion on the subject matters. But, I mean, further than that, like, I mean, there's, like, I feel like if someone makes fun of something that you're doing, you just have to be strong enough in yourself and believe that, hey, I wanted to make this, right? I thought that this is something that people might enjoy if I put it out, that someone might watch, that myself might watch, that I might want to try to look back on, that I might be able to improve on, that I might, like, when you're solid enough in your motives and the fact that you want to do something, nothing else that anyone says can really, like, it doesn't matter. Because my cousins saw my music videos and they said, "That's weird. Why are you doing that?" And I said, "Because I want to." Um, and I mean, and I specifically in New Flesh, that was like a quote of myself and Pablo, and he said, "Why are you recording?" I said, "Because I want to, because I can, and I'm allowed to, you know." Um, like, and I do feel like maybe I was pushing a boundary because he said, "Why are you recording?" And that might have been in the context of why you recording me. And then that's not great. But oops. What's done is done. I don't know. I'm not going to take it down unless he specifically asks me to. Um, because it's documentation and whatever. Is that the best way of thinking? I don't know. Probably not. Like, saying it out loud, it's like, that's kind of bad, probably. But, oh well. I did it anyways. Um, because I said, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. And I guess that's an example of, like, it's not always necessarily a good thing. It's not always necessarily, like, I want to do this, so it is inherently good and right and, like, the best thing to do, you know? Um, but honestly, like, I don't. Like, that's the reason that I never did anything in the first place. So I don't want to, like, give that as advice. I'm giving advice to no one. This isn't posted publicly. This is probably going to be watched by one person ever. This is just giving advice. It's not giving advice to anyone. It's talking out loud about, this is how I thought, this is how I think, this is what I'm making of that. And I'm trying to segment it into, like, video topics just to be easier for myself and others to sift through if I ever reference it. But, like, I don't. This is just for me. It doesn't matter what I say, and the fact that I can say that, and the fact that I can, like, the fact that I can be solid enough in myself and my motives to say that even if I did make this public at some point, I'm not gonna, like, it doesn't matter. That's not something that I am going to worry about right now. I don't have to worry about every potential outcome and everything that could possibly happen right now. Because right now, I'm just starting out. I don't know. I'm still not good at this. I'm better at talking to a camera, because I've been doing it for, if we're pushing, like, something like 60 hours of, like, total channel content of myself talking at a camera. Like, I think I'm getting pretty good at it. But I'm still not, like, I still can't put my thoughts together as much as I'd like to. I'm still not as, I guess I do want that then, because I thought it was, whatever. I am still not as good at putting thoughts together as I'd like to. I still am not, by any means, like, any type of professional YouTuber. Although I have been looking recently at, like, how much YouTube paid me for 1,000,000 views, and I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. But I don't think enough people would like to watch me just talk like this. I think I'd have to be a more, researched and, like, whatchamacallit, like, not, like, condensed, but like it needs to be like a 10-minute video that's easier to understand with a better like thesis and line of reasoning. I need to script it. I need to like, you know, put in effort to make money, one may say. I know, crazy concept, but come on. Okay, get the turret. Um, but and then that's not, I don't know, whatever. So if I could, in theory, make money on just like talking like I do right now, that'd be great. Um, but oh, but also I want to go into tech. I'm not super worried about like a YouTube side hustle or anything. It's fine. This is just for personal stuff right now, and that's fine. It's allowed to be. Um, I'm allowed to have hobbies. I'm allowed to have personal projects. I'm allowed to just do things because I want to, you know? Um, and again, you need to be able to say that to yourself. I don't know how to describe how to get to that point, but you need to be able to get to that point. You need to be able to say, I want to do this, so I'm going to do it. That, like, I deserve to be able to do things that I enjoy. Like, I am worth the effort. That, like, I want this, so it's worth giving it a try, no matter what the outcome ends up being. What I want you. Never mind. I want you. Um, because I want to say, I'd like to get comfortable talking in front of a camera. This is, I mean, my practice was the end of Earth stuff. I would say this isn't really a practice anymore so much as just like I enjoy doing this, and that's great, and that's fine. And again, I don't think that anyone is going to watch these videos really. It's just that, oh come on, no. I don't think that anyone's going to watch these videos, and that's fine, and I'm not making them with the intention of having an audience, but I'm still talking with a, like, I don't know. The audience is me. The audience is my future self. And I'm posting it on YouTube because, well, because I'm worried that, like, I don't I like save it to my phone and then my phone will break and then I'll completely lose it or something. Or like I'll save it to my computer and my computer will blow up, because that's like not the first time that that's happened. I lost a lot of data on like computers just dying. Um, but um, anyway, I'm posting it on YouTube as just sort of like a saving the documentation. But the reason that it's unlisted and not private is because I'm not opposed to people watching it, because I think that most of what I'm talking about is important enough that I think, I mean, a lot of what I'm talking about is advice, and that advice is to my past self from my future self, and a representation of where I am, like, in discovering myself and in figuring out how the world works, if such a thing is possible. Um, so, like, it's the advice is to myself, but I know that there are other people like myself. I'm not the only person that's like this, and so if someone does happen to stumble upon, ouch, if someone does happen to stumble upon these videos and they get something from it, that's awesome, you know? Um, I'm not intending it with an audience, but like, I'm not completely, like, oh, but I'm not completely rejecting the possibility of an audience either, because I think that the things that I'm saying are important, and they may mostly only be important to me, but that doesn't mean they're not important, you know? Like, they're mostly only important to me, but I am still a person, and there are still other people like me, So it's not completely out of the question that there could be someone very similar to me that would get a lot out of this. Like, does that make sense? So I'm not posting it publicly because there is still a level of embarrassment, and there is still a level of, I don't want this to be the first thing you see when you go on my channel. I'd like the cousin videos to be the first thing you see because all of my subscribers are just my extended family and then a couple of friends. I'm not like. I don't think I have any, like. I'd say, like, natural subscribers. I don't know, like. It just, like. I don't think I have any. Ouch. Any subscribers that are people that I don't know at all in real life. Um, which is, which is fine. Um, I was hoping that whatever. It's fine. I'm not like, it's fine. That was my first death. It's fine. I don't think any of my subscribers are people that I don't know in real life, and that's fine. But the people that I know in real life are not particularly looking for this kind of content from me. So even though it's not completely off of my profile, it is sort of like pushed off to the side on just a playlist. It's labeled. If you want it, you can have it. Well, if you're watching this, you wanted it and you have it. But I'm not really, again, intending this with to have viewers. But I mean, I don't know. It's just like I'm not making it public because there is a level of embarrassment and there is a level of, I'm putting myself out there. And I don't particularly want everyone to see this quite yet. And there is a level of I don't want it to be the first thing that pops up when you search my channel, because that isn't what people are looking for when they look for this channel, and that's fine. Maybe that'll change in the future, and maybe it won't. And it's fine either way. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't do it. And you can see that there are still, like, seeds of doubt in my mind, and there are still parts of it that I'm, like, nervous about, and parts of things that, like, I don't know, I'm not completely solid in myself about. But I mean, the way that I've been talking for most of it is hold on. Okay, my bad. My dad came in for more than 1 second, so I just ended the video because I don't know. It's fine. Anyways, I don't remember where I was because I had a conversation with him. Because I'm driving to Cape Cod. Woo, awesome. And I don't know what's going on still, which sucks, and I wish I did. But I'm just gonna keep talking. I'm gonna keep talking in the same, like, general vein that I was talking before, and just, like, you need to be solid in yourself and what you want for yourself. Just because, like, so I gotta kill. Anyway, you need to be more solid. You need to be solid in yourself and what you want, because you need to be able to say, I want to make this video, so I'm going to make this video, regardless of what other people think of it, and regardless of what other people think of me for having made this video. I think it's something that's important to say, so I'm going to say it. And I want to say, like, I don't know, like, there's, like, I would like to learn how to play the guitar, so I'm going to do that, regardless of if you think it's annoying, and regardless of, if you think that not like you think that I shouldn't, because I don't think most people think like that. But, like, I don't know, regardless of what you think about what I'm doing, I want to do it anyway, so I'm going to, I wish I didn't get that one death, because that's a good KDA. And I think I'm going to play another game, even though I do kind of feel like I'm running out of things to say, because I'm not at an hour yet. Especially with the pause. Or do I? I don't know. I might just gap on the end screen. But you need to be solid in yourself and what you want. You need to be able to say, I want to do this, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to foot the embarrassment of having done this in the first place. You know, I'm going to say that I'm 14? She's 14? That's minus. Okay, nice. You need to say, like, that this is something that I want to do. And so, therefore, it's worth the beginning part where it's kind of embarrassing. It's worth the, like, learning and putting in the effort. It's worth waking up every day and saying, I'm going to do this, even though I'm not good at it and it's not, like, pleasant to do yet. It still feels like a chore because I'm learning. It's worth explaining to people and justifying when or if they ask, because most of the time they don't care as much as you think they do, but sometimes they do care, and it's worth justifying why you want this because you do want it. Like, you need to get to that point with yourself and the things that you want and the things that you like, because it gets so much easier once you get to that point with just, like, one thing. Is once I got, like, I think the guitar was the first thing, because I played the guitar and then I was like, I want to release an album. I want to put that out there. I want to start recording myself again. I want to put that out there. I want to, like, talk to people more. I want to do things more. I want to make more, like, I'm allowed to make noise in space. I'm allowed to record things and post them. I'm allowed to, like, I don't know, like, I'm allowed to, like, have my camera and, like, record things on that and post them, and, like, I finally have, like, interests and hobbies because I finally surpassed that first, like, hurdle of letting myself be bad at it and not being afraid of what other people thought of it. You know, like, that's the hardest part is starting, but the hardest part is starting the first thing, starting to start. Because as soon as you've done it once, you know that you can do it again. Or, like, it just gets easier. The more that you do it, the more you know that you can do it. The more you start more things. I'm saying more a lot. Like, I just. When you keep starting new things, it makes it easier to continue starting new things, because the more that you start, the more that you know that you're able to start, and the more that you can, like, kind of keep going. That's so bad. That's so bad. I don't care. I don't care. I literally don't care. I literally don't care. I do care. I do care. But just, like, you need to. I don't know. You just need to be able to. You need to be able to say, I want this, and that's enough. You know? You need to be able to say, like, I want this, and so I'm going to work towards myself getting it. Even though it's, like, not. Like, you just need to. You need to have faith in yourself and to let yourself try things. Because even if you don't end up wanting it, the fact that you started is the hardest part. Even if you end up abandoning most of the things that you start, the fact that you're starting is the hardest part. So the more that you start, the more likely that it'll be that you find the one thing that you do want to finish, you know? Or the thing that you want to continue pursuing, the thing that you feel like, because there is really no finishing. Like, I'm going to continue making these videos, probably, hopefully. And they're going to probably, hopefully, steadily increase in quality. I mean, this one's probably going to be horrible quality because I don't feel like edit. I am going to have to because I started and stopped the video, but like I, it's just like hopefully the quality will improve over time the same way that I started learning guitar and over time I got better even though I'm teaching myself. I'm not like taking a class or anything. Is that the best course of action? Probably not, but I'm too embarrassed to have someone else teach me, so I'm opting for a middle ground of not being perceived, but still practicing, still learning, and still getting better. Because you don't have to be perfectly content with yourself all of the time and perfectly confident in all of your abilities and saying, I want to start this and I'm going to be great at it and I'm going to have a teacher and I'm going to have exponential growth in my skill ability and whatever and what have you. Like, I mean, it's not going to be perfect, and I don't think anyone really expects it to be perfect. I don't think anyone really talks like that. But I mean, it's okay to say, I want to do this, and I don't want to do it the conventional way, so I'm going to do it like a weird baby step way, because that's what I did. That's what I do, is I say, well, I don't know if I'd be able to make an actual YouTube video, so I'm going to record myself talking at a camera, so I'm still building up the skills of talking to a camera and learning to sort of condense my thoughts. But I'm not quite throwing myself face first into being a YouTuber. You know, the videos are unlisted. I'm still building up the skills, and hopefully, I'd like to post like a proper video essay because I do have topics I'd like to. At least one really good topic I'd like to video essay about. Um, but that's hard, you know, and that's not something that I feel like I'm really ready for yet. That's fine. I'm allowed to not be ready for that yet. Um, and I don't know, just the fact that like, you know, I didn't feel like I could throw myself face first into, even though it's not really face first, but to say I want lessons for my guitar felt too embarrassing, felt too, but what if I'm bad and I don't know what the person's teaching me? That feels too stressful. I want to go at my own pace, so I'm going to teach myself. And I'm going slower because I'm teaching myself, but I'm still learning it and I'm still improving, you know? Um, and so I feel like not only is it important to be confident in your own abilities and be confident in your own, like, desires and to say, I want to do this, so I'm going to do it, but also to say that you don't have to, like, hold yourself to strict, like, my first YouTube video must be the best video essay anyone has ever produced, or my first journal entry must describe my entire life up until this very moment, or anything like that, because then it becomes too daunting to start. So you need to start, and starting is the hardest part. But the key to starting, I think, is to make it doable to yourself, is to say, this is something I've always wanted to start. I'm going to take the baby steps that are small enough that I feel that I can do it. You know? I'm going to break it down into the babiest of baby steps. I'm going to say, I'm going to pick up my guitar and just start pressing down things. I'm not gonna like try to memorize a bunch of chords right away. I'm just gonna start pressing down things and having fun and seeing what happens. And then I'll look up a list of chords and see which one of them I feel like I can do, and I'll try playing a couple of those. You know, it's not okay. Learn every chord right now. Learn your scales right now. Learn how to read music right now, and then you start. Because those felt too daunting to me, so I was never gonna start. So I never did start. I mean, I did start, but it took so long to start because it was so overwhelming to say you need to learn all of these chords and what all of these notes are. I still don't really know notes that well. I know chords, but I just discovered a new one yesterday, so I mean, it's not like I know all of them yet. And I mean, I don't know if it's possible to know all of them really. I mean, there's anyway. But and I say, hey, I'm not good at bar chords. I'm gonna use a capo. Capo. I don't know how to say it. These things. Um, and I'm just gonna use that until I feel like I don't need to anymore. And as of right now, I still do. I still do need to use them. That's fine. I'm allowed to go at my own pace and still consider myself good at it, and still say that I'm learning pretty quickly. Um, like you're allowed to. I don't know, like do things at the pace that you feel like you can. I got this camera. I didn't really use it for a while. I just kind of used it at like one off things. I'm not making a professional film with it right away. But I think it's pretty cool. And I started just kind of recording things that I liked recording. And I am slowly getting better at it and sort of learning to see what the camera sees, if that makes sense. Um, because because in the beginning, it was just like, I would get things like slightly out of frame, not centered, or like I would be filming something through a car window and I would get too much reflection and things like that. It would be kind of blurry, and you get a feel for it after some time, but you need to start. You need to get the camera, you need to start using it, and you need to do it wrong first so that you can learn. You need to let yourself learn, you need to do baby steps, because you're not going to know everything right away, because that's not how it works. Even if it's something that you think is in theory pretty simple, it's still going to take you a bit of time to actually like figure out like all of the actual workings of it and how it actually works. You could know in theory how to do a lot of things, but when you're actually presented with it hands on, like I could learn how to play the guitar in theory, but the first time that I actually put my fingers on a guitar, I realized it's not the same as it was in theory, and it requires a different type of effort than I thought it would. Um, it hurt my fingers enough that they like blistered. It hurt a lot, and I had to take a break for a few days to let my hands heal, because it like I wasn't able to press down the strings properly anymore because I had hurt them too much pressing down too hard. That's not really something I anticipated. I could know how to do the things in theory all that I wanted, but if it got to a point where my fingers hurt so much that I couldn't play the chords right, then I couldn't play the chords right. You need to start, you need to get through the initial bit of resistance before you can actually get used to it and be great at it. Because again, am I great at any of these things yet? No. But also, I'm 18 years old. I'm allowed to not be great at things yet. I have so much time. I'm not perfect at guitar yet, but I don't think I'm that bad. I know how to play a few chords. That's honestly better than I ever thought I would be, because I didn't think I'd ever start. I didn't think I'd ever start. So I'm proud of where I am right now. I'm recording videos. Are they great videos? No. Are they edited videos? This one will be slightly, but the rest of them, no. Well, the rest of the videos that are just me talking, no. Did I ever think I'd get to this point? No. Because I thought I'd always be too scared to go in front of a camera. So even though I'm not at the point of perfection, because I never will be, because that's not how any of this works, I'm still getting better. I'm letting myself figure things out, and I'm improving and I'm learning. And I think that's the point. And that's the point of a hobby, is I say I want to do this. I want to continue learning how to do this, and I want to keep being better at it. Because I keep watching video essays and I say I want to do that, but there's so much effort that goes into doing that, and I'm going to practice sitting in front of a camera and talking. And then sort of behind the scenes, like I wrote a script for my cousin video. I don't usually write scripts, but that's my sort of practice script. Maybe I'll write a script for a long time down the line, because that's going to require a lot of effort. I'll write a script for one of these videos that I'm doing, and then I'll talk at a camera while using a script, and then that's another step there. You know? Like, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. And I'm taking the baby steps that I feel like I can take while also actively practicing. I listen to a lot of music. I say I'd like to make this music. I started picking up a guitar, and I said, well, this is kind of harder than I thought it was. It doesn't really work the way I thought it would. But I'm taking the time to learn and become better at it, because even though I'm not quite good at it yet, I can still make a song. It's not the best song you've ever heard, but using what I do know and sort of playing around with that and experimenting with it, I can make some things that sound pretty good. And it's just a lot of trial and error and letting myself be not perfect at it and figuring it out. Because I didn't let myself just figure it out for the longest time. But when I did, I found out that it's not really that scary because no one really cares except me. So, like, why wouldn't I just start the thing that I want to do if I'm the only person that cares and I'm the only person that's going to judge myself about it? So, I don't know. It's just like, if there is something that you have been wanting to do for a long time, but you've been putting it off, do it. You don't have to do it in full right now, because the reason that you've been wanting to do it for a long time and you haven't done it yet is because it feels daunting to an extent, or there's some kind of barrier. Just start. You want to get into film? Okay, well, you don't have to get a super nice camera. I have a 2006 digital camera that I got from my mom because she never threw it out. You can also find those at Goodwill or just like tech recycling stores. Or use your phone. Like, if you want to get into film, you can do that. You don't have to have a nice film camera for it. If you want to get into guitar, that's a little bit harder because those are kind of expensive. Those are very expensive. But I mean, if you save up and you do it, or if you save up and you buy it, you will end up playing it. If it's something that you want to do, sooner or later, the guilt will consume you and you will start playing it, trust me. And if you want to start writing in a journal, there is no barrier to entry there. Just start with writing about your day. Start with writing about what's on your mind right now. You don't have to have an entire backlog of everything that's happened to you until this present moment, which is what I felt like I had to do. And I did try. I did it poorly. Whatever. Write about what's on your mind at that current moment. And that's it. And then you can end it whenever you want to. Try to keep up with it as frequently as you can. But don't let it become a chore, because that kind of sucks the fun out of it. Try to get to a point with it where you want to learn it. Okay. You want to continue learning it and you want to continue being better at it. It's hard to do in the very beginning, but you just have to stick with it for the first little bit and it comes easier. So maybe, I guess, for the first little bit, first couple weeks maybe, try to make it routine, try to do it every day. And then after a certain point, it becomes routine and you want to do it. You want to continue learning because you see a little bit of progress in yourself, you know? Even just over the course of this video, I started out very scatterbrained and very, like, it's been a couple of weeks. Do I even remember how to do this? My goodness, I can't really talk in front of a camera like I used to. It took me until a good bit in to actually get on a roll. That's fine, and I'm allowed to do that. It's going to make it annoying to watch back if anyone, or I, or whatever, end up doing that. But I get there eventually, at the end, you know? Like, I don't know. And I think that's what matters, is that you get there eventually at the end. But there isn't just like a destination in mind. It's not like it's not like it's you will eventually be Mr. Beast and that's why you start YouTubing. That's not YouTubing. That shouldn't be your goal initially. Just do the baby steps. Say, hey, I'm kind of scared to talk in front of a camera, but I'm going to record myself talking in front of a camera anyways, and then I'm going to post it. And that's that's my goal for right now. Okay, my next goal is to do that again. Okay, my next goal is to do that again, but try to be a little bit more coherent this time. My next goal is to do that again. Try to have less pauses. Try to keep talking. Try to repeat yourself less. Little goals like that. Okay, my goal isn't to be the next greatest guitar player. I don't even listen to huge guitar players. Like the one that I can think of is like Johnny Greenwood of Radiohead. I'm not like a big like I want to be just like Jimi Hendrix. I don't listen to Jimi Hendrix. you know. Um, I think he's a good guitar player. I don't listen to that kind of music. I'm not saying I want to be the next Johnny Greenwood. I'm saying I want to learn how to play most notes. Even that's a bit daunting in the beginning. Okay, I want to learn how to make something that sounds okay. All right, I want to learn some more notes. I want to learn some more chords. What do I think would make this sound better, and how do I get that? You know, little steps like that. I want to try writing for I want to write in a journal for longer. I want to condense it more. I want to be hyper specific about my day. I want to be a little bit more general about my day so I can page through the days and not have it be a huge thing. Start with just the goal of starting, and then get your goals as you go on. Don't go into it saying I want to be a filmmaker. Say I'd like to record something and have it turn out all right. Okay, what made that not turn out okay? It was the glare. How do I get how do I fix that? Okay, press it a little bit more to the glass. It's just the little steps that you learn by trial and error and figuring out what matters and what doesn't. And so your first goal is starting, and then your goals as you go on are just to make it better. And then eventually you get to be really good at it. But it takes a lot of time to get there, and if your goal is just to be really good at it, you're not going to know how to get there, and it's going to feel really daunting. You know? And I'm saying this like I am 18 years old. Goodness gracious. I'm not open my champion capsules. I'm not I don't know everything about everything. I'm literally a teenage girl. Take everything with a grain of salt. But I whatever. I That's how I'm functioning right now, and it's working pretty well for me. So that's my advice for right now. At this snippet in time, at June 21st, 2024, the day before I go to Cape Cod, 2 years post the incident, the day before I went to Cape Cod, this is how I feel about learning new things. I think it's a pretty good one. But, I don't know, I could be wrong. And I might come back and correct myself, or I might just not care. I might never remember that I did this, and it's fine regardless. Anyways, I think I've talked for long enough. It's an hour. I sure hope I've hit an hour, but I can't see how long the first video was, so my hair looks so. Ignore my hair. Ignore my hair. I swear I know how to take care of my hair. I'm just not used to it yet. But also, who cares? Anyways, see you guys in the next one. That will happen. I hope this is that will happen. I promise. Okay, bye.